Alright, funny story as to how I got to Godzilla Cataclysm. Initially, since today, as of this recording, Godzilla Rulers of Earth Volume 5 had appeared, but and here's the thing, I literally traveled 3 buses to get to this bookstore that had this comic. And they didn't have it. What they did have, and I was like, look, I've traveled too far to come. I'm one of those people who's like, look, I better come home with something. I'm not going home empty-handed. That's kind of the thing. If I go somewhere and I come home empty-handed, I feel like I lost a victory in a conquest. So, yeah, I came home with Godzilla. So I took Godzilla Cataclysm because I wanted to read it, and I've heard really good things about it. So, how good is Godzilla Cataclysm? This is, of course, the 5-part comic book miniseries written by Cullen Bunn, who I believe this is his first time writing Godzilla in general. So, what did I think of Godzilla Cataclysm? Godzilla Cataclysm, it's actually pretty good, but here's the thing, it feels a little rushed. Then again, like I said in my Darth Vader in Nith Assassin review, I am a fast reader. So I kind of blasted through it on the bus ride home. Well, actually, I was just sitting at the bus stop waiting for the other bus to come there, and then I finished it off halfway through the bus ride home. And yeah, it does feel like a bit of a quick read. However, it is structured really good. There is actually some really cool stuff in here. This story is kind of a better version of Kingdom of Monsters, because Kingdom of Monsters is goddamn terrible. But however, Cataclysm, on the other hand, I think had a better idea of what it was going to do, other than Kingdom of Monsters. And with with what Cataclysm does over Kingdom of Monsters, that Cullen Bunn gives these kaiju personality and the reason why they're destroying the world, rather than they just show up and wreck the world as in Kingdom of Monsters. So. Yeah, so this story takes place 20 to 30 years after this thing called the Cataclysm, which involved all the kaiju just going completely berserk on each other, and literally, this had never happened before. The monsters had attacked each other before, and they fought, but never to this scale, and the kaiju got into a war so big, they wrecked the whole world. They just tore it to bits. And we follow this one character named Hiroshi, who is this old man who survived the Cataclysm, and now he lives in this post-apocalyptic world where some people worship the kaiju as gods. Like, people pray to Ebra to bring plentiful fish, people pray to Mothra for good fortune, and people actually pray to King Ghidorah to bring the rain. To bring rains. Yeah, you'd think that would be like Rodan or something, but no, it's King Ghidorah. You'd think he would have been this universe's god of death. Or that could have been Destroya, who does show up in here. Now, let's talk a bit about Hiroshi. Hiroshi, not Hiroshi Sato, get that odd image out of your head right now, to all my fellow Legend of Korra fans. So let's talk a bit about Hiroshi. Hiroshi in here is a very likable character because he's still haunted by the past that is the Cataclysm. And we slowly figure out that he and a few others were directly responsible for the Cataclysm to begin, of how the Cataclysm happened, and how it pretty much left the world as it is, and he's still paying for his sins. It turns out that, I really don't want to spoil this, because this comic is still kind of relatively new, so I don't really want to give away major spoilers, but yeah, he is responsible for what happened, and he does cause the Cataclysm, along with several other people, but he's pretty much the last person alive who caused the Cataclysm to happen in the first place. Now, the big thing with this is that we also have 2 other characters in here called Arata and Shiryo, who I don't know, they never specify, at least I never noticed, if it's a guy or a girl, because, they never specify if it's a woman, a man or a woman, but you clearly see he or she's in a relationship with Arata, Hiroshi's grandson, and they're living in this world, and they're going out scouting for anything, they can use, and they come across the first kaiju they've seen in 20 years. The kaiju just disappeared, after a long time. And the first kaiju they discover is Biollante. Now, Biollante actually plays a huge role in here. Yeah, let me say that again. Biollante plays a gigantic role in this comic. Why? She's actually trying to help the world. What Biollante is trying to do is spread herself across the world and breathe life back into the world. By extending her plant-like body throughout the planet, she's actually trying to reflourish Earth. The Earth, which has just been this desolate wasteland for over 20 to 30 years. And yeah, Godzilla ain't having this. So let's talk a bit about Godzilla's role in here. Godzilla is just an engine of destruction. And that's what I like about Godzilla. And he's actually portrayed in here. Cullen Bunn does a smart thing of going back to Godzilla's not a defender. He's a force of nature, and humans are kind of unconsequential to them, and he's kind of punishing them for tampering with what happened with the kaiju and then causing the Cataclysm. Godzilla, after 30 years after this Cataclysm happened, is still angry at the human race and wants to see them destroyed, even going so far as to even attack Biollante and her ally Mothra. Yeah, you never thought that would happen, right? Mothra and Biollante teaming up to trying to heal the world. But here's the thing, we don't really know why we don't see the Shobojin. We just see Mothra and her trying to help Biollante in her attempt. And we don't even know why Biollante's trying to help the world. Because Biollante ain't the thing is that Biollante wasn't exactly a good monster to begin with. So it's interesting that that Cullen Bunn decided to go with Biollante as the big hero of the story. But Godzilla, however, it's not like with Godzilla, Gangsters, and Goliath, where it was more focused on Mothra. Godzilla is a very prominent role in here, so therefore, ergo, you can call this Godzilla Cataclysm. Because Godzilla, like I said, plays a huge role in here, and his connection with Hiroshi. But again, we don't know why Mothra or Biollante's, end goals throughout this story. And some kaiju just show up. And there's not a lot of kaiju. I mean, yeah, Manda, Anguirus, and a few others make cameo roles, but I'll just spoil this. The only kaiju that really show up in this story are as follows: Godzilla, Biollante, Mothra, Destroya, and Megaguirus. That's it. Those are the monsters right there. Oh yeah, and the Mega Nulon show up. Megaguirus' children. So those are the only kaiju that play any major role in here. The rest of them, we don't know where the hell they are. We really don't know where... we really don't know where the hell they are at the moment. But anyway... So with that being said, this is not a bad story, but I kind of wish, rather than being 5 parts, it was a bit longer. Like maybe one more issue, because it all gets kind of resolved really quick. And you could say, oh, well, Half Century War's 5 issues long, and you praise that as one of the best Godzilla things ever. Well, the difference being there is that actually had a very coherent story, and it felt like everything kind of tied up perfectly at the end. This, it just feels like everything just got wrapped up too quickly. Whereas this, it's such a big world, you kind of want to see more of it. It's not like with Half Century War, which focuses on, it focuses on just one character and, follows his life in following Godzilla, and kind of tries to make this weird continuity of having the Showa, Heisei, and Millennium series all kind of interconnect. Granted, it's really awesome that way, but the story itself is very self-contained, whereas this, you kind of wish for more world building, because you only get a snippet of what the world of the cat that was left after the Cataclysm was like. You really just get, they kind of talk about, the kaiju are worshipped as gods, there were sacrifices to the kaiju, but you don't really get to see that, and I kind of wish there was more of a conflict with Hiroshi and the other and his kind of, his penance, because everything gets kind of resolved between him and his... Like, when his grandson finds out what Hiroshi did to piss off Godzilla and the other kaiju, he's just like, oh, grandfather, I hate you. And then in the following issue, at the end of the story, he's just like, oh, grandfather, I forgive you. I just feel like there should have been more of a... at least one more issue to kind of flesh out that kind... him kind of coming to terms with all of that, of what he did to the kaiju in the past. I just feel like that was kind of I just felt like that was kind of rushed. But yeah. Let me talk about the artwork. The artwork in here is very gritty, it's very dirty, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing, it just makes you feel like the artwork in here, the kaiju look really good. They look very gritty as well. A lot of them, I mean, yeah, we have a lot of Heisei monsters in, One Millennium. But yeah, they look really good. In fact, Godzilla's design is very much like his design in Godzilla Tokyo SOS. It's very reminiscent of the Godzilla against Mechagodzilla and its sequel, Tokyo SOS, which, for those who don't know, I like those two movies. Those are probably my two favorite movies from the Millennium series. I know opinions may vary, but those personally are kind of my favorites in the Millennium series. Anyway, so what else did I want to talk about in here? Oh yeah, you know that rule, for those who don't know the rule, there is a rule that Toho gave, that kind of gave Godzilla, that gave IDW, they gave them a list of rules like no crossovers, no changing the origin, which they've done in Rulers of Earth, so I can only imagine what kind of shit fit Toho's having, and they gave one big rule of don't kill the kaiju. This kind of breaks the rule. I don't want to say how, but it breaks the rule. And, oh boy, does it break the rule. But it kind of gets away with it in like two cases, but the third case you're like, nah, that bitch is dead. Yeah. But yeah, all in all, it's a really good story. It's a little bit rushed, but then again, I am a fast reader. The human characters are very likable. Well, here, Arata and Shojiro are, they're just like there. But Hiroshi, you really sympathize with Hiroshi in this story. You really do follow his story and feel a lot of sympathy for him in this story. And the kaiju fights are really good. But yeah, some kaiju just like Destroya just shows up Destroya just shows up. Yeah, he just shows up. But whereas, Megaguirus, Mothra, and Godzilla, and Biollante, they have reasons to be there. Destroya's just like, boom, Destroya, I'm here, let's wreck shit. And whereas Godzilla's trying to kill Biollante, and he has a reason for being there, and Biollante has a reason there, Mothra has a reason for being there, Megaguirus has a reason to be here. So, all these kaiju just have a reason for being here, whereas Destroya just shows up and is like, yeah, I'm here, I'm surprised as you, I'm just gonna kill people now. Yeah. But yeah, the fight scenes are really well done, and again, I'm really surprised that Biollante is not only playing a big role in this comic book, but is also playing a good guy. She's playing a good guy in here, and actually teaming up with Mothra. Like I said, that's a team up we never thought we would see in anything. Biollante and Mothra working together. But again, we really don't know the reasons as to why Mothra. Obviously Mothra's a good kaiju, so yeah, that kind of explains it of itself. Even though we do not see the Shobojin in here. But Biollante, we don't know what's her goal? Why does she want to help the humans in this story, like I said? So we're kind of left in the air with, alright, she's helping the world. Good, why? See, that's why I wanted one more issue to kind of explain that, and as well as kind of going a little in deeper with Hiroshi, kind of dealing with his demons from the past and causing the Cataclysm. And maybe see a little more of this world. Like, what did they said the whole world was wrecked by the kaiju, but we only see what's left of Japan. I kind of wanted to see, like, maybe, like, little glimpses of, like, what London looked like, what China looked like, what America looked like, stuff like that. But all in all, despite the minor complaints I have, this is actually a pretty damn good comic. Nice little miniseries. I still think if you want to go by miniseries, I still think Half Century War is probably not only just the best miniseries, but also Godzilla miniseries, but also one of the best Godzilla things ever to not only come out of IDW, but Godzilla stuff, period. But this is pretty good. Colin Bunn, I tip my hat to you. You did a really good story, and like I said, this is what Kingdom of Monsters should have been. Granted, it should have gotten one more issue, but all in all, it is still really good. It definitely, takes the idea of what Eric Powell was trying to do in Kingdom of Monsters and improves on it tenfold. Anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and once again, you guys, if you've read the comic, you guys tell me what you thought. Once again, hope you all enjoyed this, and I will see you guys later.